Hello there, this is Lila St. Matthew Daniel, your transitional life strategist, and I'm here to give you a few tips to sort out some glitches that you might have in your daily life path. And I always say problems have solutions, and once you're ready to seek for assistance or look inwards, you're already halfway there. So today I'm going to talk about 5 surprisingly simple ways to discover what you're passionate about. Yes, I'm videoing this immature video, but until I can get a proper camera and things like that, the most important thing is the message that I'm passing across, not the method with which I'm doing so. So take your pen and paper, because we're going to write a few tips down, and I know that this will mark a change in the way you perceive certain things as from now on. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Do you ever wonder why you are doing what you are doing? Do you wake up and hate the situation you're in and wonder what your end game is? Another morning, another job, another question mark, what to do? If someone were to offer you a way out of your current work situation, would you take it? Current business situation, would you take it? If your answer is yes to any of these questions, then you have a problem. No offense, but it's actually that you're lacking something integral. That something is passion. Passion. Passion is a burning desire that you can't get rid of, even if you wanted to. Your life will not feel accomplished until you get on the path to pursuing your passion and doing work that excites and fulfills you. Only you truly know what you're passionate about. Only you, because you are the captain of your ship. This may be a scary thought, but for some, they know this. Some, it might be just a new awareness, because you hold the power of turning your dreams into a reality. It's a scary thought, as I said, because there is no more relying on people to show you the path, give you, spoon feed you, your mom or your dad, to tell you what's right. This is all about you. You have to find that passion. You hold the power to control your destiny. I'm going to share with you a few unconventional ways to go about discovering what you're passionate about. This may seem simple, but it's typically the simple things that escape us. We tend to overcomplicate things and stress ourselves out when the answer is right under our noses. Sometimes we analyze to a fault, and we are anxious and we worry when we should sit back and let it unfold gradually, and then you find a way out. I've personally pursued several ideas that I was not really passionate about, but I don't consider them a waste of time, but a learning experience, a learning curve that I have the privilege of sharing with you in hopes of saving you time. So let's go. The first one, don't always look at the hard skills. Don't always look at the hard skills. As human beings, we often feel as though we're not talented if we don't have any hard skills, such as the ability to dance, to sing, to write, to cook, or play sports really well. I'm not talking about professional skills. Sometimes in your professional skills as well, it's not everyone that should be a doctor. It's not everyone that should be an engineer. It's not everyone that should go after the hardcore area of the professional world. They are the soft areas that without them, the hardcore areas cannot operate really. You understand? We tend to forget about our soft skills as well, such as being a good conversationalist, communication skills, or being extremely organized. That's another area that goes into administration, that goes into management, that goes into HR, that goes into so many other areas. Leadership roles require that you have good communication and organizational skills. You understand? Are you easy to talk to? Maybe you're passionate about helping people solve their problems. That's a skill. So you need to dig a little deeper to find out what makes you, essentially you. Your skill, no matter what it is an asset to someone else, because everyone needs help in some area of his or her life. So number 2, it's all about trial and error, quite frankly. Finding what you're passionate about entails a little bit of trial and error. You may have ideas that seem to be a passion. Sometimes you may need to try one idea and find out it doesn't take you where you're trying to go. However, if you keep trying, one will eventually get you where you need to be. There will be times when you may legitimately think what you're doing is your passion, and then one day come to the realization that it is not what you're meant to do. Passion takes you past that hard point where you just feel like giving up, but you just don't. When you give up, that is not quite what you're supposed to do. You may feel like you wasted your time, but in reality, you didn't. You followed a feeling and it didn't turn out to be right. That's completely okay. The most important thing is that you learned, and the next step is to refocus and refocus quickly, or look for someone, a business coach, a professional coach, to assist you, to guide you down that path. The third one is, after you maybe have done a little bit of mistake, trial and error here and there, retrace your steps. What did you like to do as a child? After spending some time thinking about it, I realized that I've had a knack for organizing and administering ever since I was young. I was that kid that everyone used to come to. Everyone would say, let's go to Lila. Lila always has something up her sleeves. Yeah, I used to get into trouble too as well. You understand? Getting them too into trouble. But the fact remains that I would always have a solution. I was like a think tank, a solutions finder. And I've found myself down the ages. I went into administration and management. Then I went into empowerment and having my manufacturing organization that manufactured furniture, and then I went into training. If you look at it, it just follows the same pattern: building, organizing, administering, coming up with solutions. So what are some traits or interests you had as a child? Perhaps these are indications to what you're passionate about. We'll find out about it. 4, pay attention to opportunities around you. Look around to see what interests you. You must find what interests you. It's there. That thing that, you sparkle, even if it's not going to offer you any money. You just sparkle. You want to be a part of it. That's why you have some people who want to intern with people who are already working out something, people who want to volunteer, who say they want to be mentored. You understand? When I was a bit younger, I discovered that I loved cooking as well. I would come up with all kinds of recipe just by smell and taste. Even if something got burnt, I had the knack of turning it around into another lovely dish. I discovered that I had a passion for cooking. I just had a passion to organize. You see, that organizational and administrative skills showed up there. I had a passion of knowing how to organize things, that food will be ready, even if I had guests, right on time. You understand? And I would come up with different dishes from around the world. That was how I discovered how to make a special pepper sauce, because I found out that not everybody had the palate for hot sauce, and it used to cause a little bit of a problem. So I came up with a pepper sauce that was, unique to me, and people will always ask me for it. And it's only lately I realized that thing that I was doing about 20 years ago, I now I'm going to turn it into money. Watch out for my special pepper sauce. It's going to be called Mama Funk's pepper sauce. So if you notice a job, internship, organization, etc., that captures your attention, listen to that. Go ahead, give it a shot. It may not be for you in the long run, but you will never know until you try. There is no experience that is wasted. It's when you think you've wasted your time that you begin to fall into a self-pity mode of wishing you had done something else. No, always look at that situation and find out, what have I got to learn from it? Or what kind of experience have I gained from this that will work for me in the future? 5, follow your gut instincts. I always say your gut instincts never lie. If you're unsure about the passion you choose to pursue, don't pursue it. Yes, I did say finding your passion is about trial and error, but that only applies to something you really have a genuine interest in. Those 2 or 3 ideas that you have genuine interest in, not something you are not sure about or don't really or doesn't really excite you, but could possibly be something you are interested. I suggest not wasting your time about it. Don't go after something somebody else is doing, and because it appeals to you, you think that's your passion, you'll fall flat on your face. You need to have that burning desire or curiosity. If that burning desire isn't behind you, then keep it moving. Too often people base their decisions on what they think they're passionate about, on what their trends or people tell them. Don't get me wrong, your parents and friends may genuinely think that you should open up a fashion blog because you love to shop. That sounds like a pretty spot on recommendation, therefore you might take it. But is that really you? Is that really your passion? Yes, you love to shop, but it takes a lot to be a fashion blogger. That's why people start blogs and then fall on the wayside, by the wayside. Is it what you think you should do because you can't come up with anything else? So you say, let me try this and see. No, you must have a passion for it. Do not rush into something because it's what you think you're supposed to do, because you will end up wasting your time. It even happens in marriages, in choosing a partner. You get pressured into doing what you know very well that you shouldn't. I always tell people that, come, let us do a value analysis between you and the person that you want to get married to, a personality analysis, to make sure that you are in sync, or make sure that your values, you discover what they are and you work at them before you go into the marriage. Not when you get into the marriage, you now come out and say, oh, I wish I'd known. No. You must use that same methodology for marriage, for everything that you're doing. You may not know what you should do, but follow your own path to discovering it, not someone else's. I tell you this in hopes that you learn not to force what you think could possibly be a passion of yours. When you have a burning desire for something and catch yourself reading blogs, going into the website, you go into a place where they sell books, a bookshop, you just find that every time you zero into the same kind of topics, just for fun, you might think, but that's how you know your passion. That's how I realized that I love to build people up, because for years I found that when I went to book fairs, I'd zero into things to do with emotions, things to do with the mindset, things to do with change of beliefs and values, until I realized that yes, that is the core of every human being. If you don't handle your beliefs, your values, your limiting attitude and behavior, it will affect everything that you are doing. It has nothing to do with anybody doing you any jiggery-pokery kind of thing. Look inwards. You might just find the answer there. So let's do a quick recap. Number 1, don't always look at the hard skills. Number 2, it's all about trial and error. Number 3, retrace your steps. What did you like to do as a child? Number 4, pay attention to opportunities around you. Number 5, follow your gut instincts. Too often, fear and social pressure keeps us from pursuing greater things. Will you let that happen to you? There's a reason you landed on this video clip. Maybe you're following me on my Facebook page, on my social media page, whatever the case may be, you're here. What are you going to do differently to put yourself on a path to a more fulfilled life? Think about it and let me know. This is Lila St. Matthew Daniel. I strive to be a voice for women's success and men, and give insights on how to accomplish cool things and live a most fulfilled life by discovering and pursuing your passion. If you want to get in touch, send me an email on lailasmd@gmail.com. LAILASMD@gmail.com. Till we come again on another tip on how to live a successful life, I say You are the captain of your ship. Be positive and believe in you.